made from the cell differentiation when the meristematic tissue loses the ability to undergo constant division and they lose their ability to divide. So then they become permanent. Okay, so simple, like the permanent tissues, these are the ones that would be like how we discussed in the previous class. The permanent tissues, they do not have the power of division. They have differentiated to become up, to have a permanent shape, to have a permanent size, and all of that. Okay, now moving forward, when we talk about the permanent tissue and its types, so the permanent tissue is of two types: simple permanent and complex permanent. If you see over here, this particular picture depicts the types of permanent tissue, right? Now, the simple permanent tissue is the kind of tissue which is made up of only one type of cells. Whereas the complex permanent tissues, these are the ones that are made up of more than one type of cells. So they are made up of different cells. Now, we were discussing about the simple permanent tissue. So the simple permanent tissue, they are made up of one type of cells, and further they are of three types: parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. The first one that we have to discuss is parenchyma. Now see, amongst all of the tissues that the plant has, parenchyma is the most primitive tissue. It is most primitive, meaning it is like the most abundant also, and it is the fundamental tissue. Like this will give the plant body its structure, and this is basic. Like it has to be there. It is the most common tissue with very little specialization. So it's like very stable tissue that is there in the plant's body, and it is very important because it is a fundamental and the most basic and important tissue. So see, this is basically how the meristematic tissue, the parenchymatous tissue looks like. Okay, so it has a big vacuole present right in the middle. Okay, and the cells are spaced a lot. Like the cells that are present in the parenchyma, they have spaces in between them, because of which there are a lot of intercellular spaces in between these tissues. So, and also remember, the cells of the parenchyma or the parenchyma in general is a living tissue. It's not a dead tissue. It's a living tissue. The shape of the parenchyma can vary. It can be spherical in shape, it can be oval in shape, or even polygonal. So there are a variety of shapes that the parenchyma could be present in. Now remember, the cell wall of the parenchyma is thin. Okay, it's not very thick, it's very thin, and it is made up of a component which is called as cellulose, because you people know that the cell wall in plants is made up of cellulose. Now, the cells that are present in the parenchyma tissue, they are loosely packed. They're not tightly arranged. They are loosely packed. And since they are loosely packed, large intercellular spaces are present in between. Huge amount of intercellular spaces are found in between the cells. Inter means in between. Cellular means the cell. So, the spaces in between the different cells is called as the intercellular spaces. So these intercellular spaces, they are like abundant. They are very huge intercellular spaces present. Now the parenchyma, it has a large central vacuole. See, the vacuole central means that it is center in position. Okay, it's present right in the center and it is huge. It takes up the whole volume of the cell. Whereas the cytoplasm is present on the periphery. So we say that they have peripheral cytoplasm. Peripheral means that they are present at the periphery, and vacuole is present in the middle, that is center in position. Now, they are found in, like, where is the parenchyma found? So they are mostly found in the soft parts of the plant. Okay, because they do not have anything to make them hard. So mostly the parenchyma, they are found in the soft parts of the plant, such as cortex of the root. They are found in the ground tissues in the stem, and even in the mesophyll of the leaves. See, there are specialized cells in the leaves of the plant. We call it as the mesophyll cells. So the mesophils, they are also made up of, or they also have the parenchyma present in them. Now the function of the parenchyma is to store the food in them. What it does? It stores the food. Now this parenchyma, according to the need of the plant, whether the plant requires, depending upon where the plant is present, or different needs according to the plant, the parenchyma could get modified or specialized. Okay, so now we're going to see what are the different modifications of the parenchyma. The first modification is chlorenchyma. So when the parenchyma possess chloroplast. Chloroplasts are those cells that contain the chlorophyll. So when the parenchyma possesses the chlorophyll containing cells, it means that you know that chlorophyll does photosynthesis. So these are the parenchymal cells or tissues that will do photosynthesis. So the modification, like normally parenchyma is not responsible for doing any kind of photosynthesis, but the chlorenchyma does. So it's like a modification that performs an extra function. Then comes parenchyma. Now, parenchyma means these are those parenchyma that have air cavities present. So, like normal cells are present in the parenchyma, and there in between there will be air cavities that will be present. Now, the question comes along, what would these air cavities do, or why is it present? See, you know that there are many plants that are aquatic, isn't it? So when they are living in water, so that the water doesn't drown the plant, so that the plant doesn't sink to the bottom, they have parenchyma in them, which gives them a upward force, which is called as buoyancy. And because of that, the plant doesn't sink to the bottom of the water body. So parenchyma are those parenchyma that have air cavities present in them, and the air cavity provides buoyancy or the upward force to them. And then the last modification is the steel parenchyma. Now these are those parenchyma that have a star shape present in them. Okay, so they are star shaped parenchyma. So up until now, you people have seen three modifications of the parenchyma. You've seen the characteristics of parenchyma. You've seen which type of a tissue it is, and everything. Now tell me, students, if you people have any doubts related to this, anything you want to ask? Anything? It's all clear? Okay. Now you can note down. Now see, Ramesh, since you were absent, so you can start from this thing, permanent tissue. Okay. The rest of the students, you wait a little bit until he is writing, and then you can continue from where you are. Okay.
Okay. Ma'am, can you go down? I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
Ma'am, can
Everyone's done till this part, the parent timer part.
no, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
Done, ma'am.
Everyone's done till here? All of you are done, students? Yes or no? Okay, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm done. Ma'am, can you scroll down?
Yes, everyone's done till here? All of you are done?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good.
Done.
Done, ma'am. No, just a like you can scroll down, just the last one.
Done, ma'am.
Done, ma'am.
Done? Everyone's done here? Shall I scroll down?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Done.
Done. Done. Done, ma'am.
Everyone's done?
Yes, ma'am. Done. No, ma'am.
Everyone's done?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, just
Yeah.
give me 1 second. All right, students. So after the parenchyma is done, then we move on to the next kind of tissue, that is the simple permanent tissue, which is collenchyma. Now, collenchyma are also living tissues, just like how the parenchyma is, but they have a slight difference. What is the difference? The difference is that in each of the cell of the collenchyma, there will be the presence of wall thickenings, meaning if this is the cell and this is the wall, so the wall will be thickened. Okay, so wall thickenings will be found in the cells of the collenchyma tissue. Other than that, let us see. Mostly parenchyma and the collenchyma, both of them are the living tissues. The cells are elongated and they have irregular thickenings at the corners. Okay, so at the corners of the cell, there will be the presence of irregular thickenings, and we call those thickenings as wall thickenings. Okay, so wall thickenings will be present surrounding the cells of the collenchyma. Now, in the collenchyma, the cells are so closely situated that there will be very little intercellular spaces in between them. So it denotes that, or it shows us that the cells, they are not loosely packed. Instead, they are, you can say they are like packed close together, but not very close also, because little intercellular spaces is still there in the collenchyma. Now, talking about the functions. So, first of all, the parenchyma, because of the presence of the thickenings and stuff, they provide mechanical strength to the plant, first of all. Secondly, because of their thickenings, the collenchyma, it provides flexibility to the plant, meaning the plant can bend in any direction and it will not break. That is because of the flexibility that the collenchyma provides. So, because of the collenchyma, the plant will be flexible and it will allow the plant to bend in varieties of the directions without breaking. Where is it present? So, this is present in the leaves, in the stems, but always remember that this is absent in the roots. Now, can someone tell me why is it absent in the roots? Like, why only the roots do not have the collenchyma and rest all the parts of the plants do? What may be the reason? No one. None of you know the answer. Not even a hint. You'll not even try. Ma'am, you know it, ma'am. You only say it. See, since the roots, they are primarily involved or, concerned with just the absorption of water, right? Absorption of water and minerals, that's the main function of the roots. They do not need any tissue to provide them with the mechanical strength because they do not have to stand upright above the ground. They have to stay below the ground itself, but their main function is absorption. But collenchyma does not have any absorption property. That is why they are not present in the root. So as the root require the tissues that are water absorbing in nature, that is why the collenchyma is absent in the roots. So collenchyma is clear to everyone. Does anyone have any doubts? Anything to ask? Okay. After that, there comes the sclerenchyma. Now, sclerenchyma, these are the dead tissues or the cells of the sclerenchyma are dead. Always remember parenchyma living, collenchyma living, sclerenchyma dead. So, the cells of the sclerenchyma, they have a narrow lumen. They are thin. So, we say that they have a narrow lumen. And just like how collenchymatous cells, they had irregular thickenings, but the sclerenchymatous cells, they have throughout a thick wall present. Throughout. And this thick wall is made up of lignin. There is a substance which is called as lignin. And this is what the wall of the sclerenchymal cells made up of. So we say that the sclerenchymatous cells, they are lignified. Lignified means lignin are present or lignin is present at that area. So the cells of the sclerenchyma, they are dead. The cell wall is thick and the cell is long with a narrow lumen. So they have a narrow lumen. Now, the cell wall is thickened. Why? Because of the presence of lignin. Narrow lumen means like it's very narrow. The cell is thin. It doesn't have the space in between. Like how normally I show you the cell and I draw like this, isn't it? And then I show the vacuole and stuff and stuff. But this thing will not be present in the sclerenchyma. It's because it is a very narrow cell, like narrow. Now, the cell wall is thickened. Why? Because of the deposition of lignin, which is a very hard and durable substance. Okay, so lignin, it is a chemical substance that acts like a cement and hardens the cell. Now, you people know that when the cement dries up, it becomes really hard, right? It's very hard. If you throw it at someone, the person will get hurt. Don't do that. But lignin is just like that, that whenever it is present surrounding a cell, it will make the cell hard, okay, harden. Now the cell wall is so thick and there is no intercellular spaces. So parenchyma had a lot of intercellular space. Collenchyma has little intercellular space, whereas the sclerenchyma has no intercellular spaces at all. Then where is it present? Now it is present in the stem. It is present around the vascular bundle. And you know that the leaves, they have veins. So it is present in the veins of the leaves. And it is present in the hard covering of the seeds and nuts. So these are the areas or these are the locations in which you can find the sclerenchyma. Now, remember that in the case of the older plants, that the plants that are very, very old, okay, and they have been there around, so the outer protective tissue, that is the epidermis, it is undergoing changes every now and then, and it gets replaced by secondary meristem, okay, which will provide it a very thick structure and a durable structure. Any doubts up until now, students? Anything that you people have not understood?
Ma'am, can you explain this part again? That you explained just now.
See, in the older plants, like when the plants become old, okay, so they, like their tissue that was there in them, that when they were young, that tissues, they get replaced by secondary meristem. Like a new layer of tissues are formed, so that like their outermost covering, which is called as the epidermis, it undergoes changes and it is replaced with a new layer of meristem. Clear?
Yeah,
And
ma'am.
that meristem is called as secondary meristem. So it always undergoes cyclical changes so as to provide all like whatever function that the plant would be required. So now you people note down the column. Draw the diagrams wherever possible. Wherever I have drawn a diagram, you also draw.
I'm done.
Done.
All of you are done, students?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Wait, ma'am, could you scroll back up just for a second? Yeah, I'm done.
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 All of you are done, students?
I'm just
Okay, I'm waiting. It's okay. You people also, you don't have to be in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry, write normally. Right, make good handwriting notes, okay? You don't have to be in a hurry to finish and just go.
I'm done.
Can you scroll down a little bit? Ma'am, I'm done.
Is everyone done? Okay, okay. People write it's okay.
I'm done.
Done, ma'am.
Can you scroll down a little? Done.
Ma'am.
Everyone's done till here?